Did you hear that? Can you hear the roosters? Again, they're down there taunting me, massing, gathering. Who knows what they're getting up to, and it's starting to really trouble me a little bit. You know, it's just not what I was expecting. Anyway, very lucky thing today. I have this 1998 Mercedes Benz SL 600 Roadster. It pains my heart a little bit to call this a collectible classic, but it really is getting to that point. I mean, this car is 20 years old now. I mean, I remember when you were driving one of these things, you were a very current, very well-to-do person. So to see these cars have become classics of a sort is just very disturbing to me. It makes me realize how goddamn old I'm getting. Anyway, 98 SL 600 Roadster R129 series. The 600s were very, very special. You know, there's a bunch of 320s, a bunch of 500s out there, and they're special enough. But when you get into this car, quite a few little extra tidbits happened. It's finished in an absolutely gorgeous, I don't know what I mean, if it were a Chrysler, I'd call it, plum crazy. It's a very, very attractive sort of Merlot type color. It's got a two-tone contrasting beige inside. It's all factory original as it came. Just 25,000 miles on this thing. Frankly, it probably just didn't run very much. I'm kidding. They're not that bad. Anyway, there are some few special touches you should know about the 600s, which of course is the V12. One of them is that the fenders and the front end are longer than on the standard 500 and 6-cylinder models, which is kind of fascinating because the car looks pretty much the same. So to have extended that thing a couple of inches without any additional styling cues really understates just how special the car is. Pretty neat stuff. Bruno Sacco, this was one of his final cars, the longtime chief of design for Mercedes Benz, and he said that this was his most perfect car. That really means something coming from this guy. In the 80s, they took the very rugged W124 chassis and tweaked it, shortened it, and made it into the underpinnings for this Series SL. So truly a real Mercedes workhorse lent its mechanicals to this car in a way that has benefited it. It's become, a pretty reliable piece. You see some 500s out there, with 200,000 plus miles on them. Pretty impressive. Speaking of impressive, window sticker wise, in 1998, this car would have stickered in the $130,000 range. So, frankly, you could, set up a house for people with that. But very, very expensive car. They now trade at a bargain price. You really have to feel bad for anyone who spent that kind of money for one, because they certainly didn't pan out as an investment, until just recently they've started edging up. And man, did they lose a ton of value. Okay, so the 600, you see it's got xenon headlamps up front. That's standard on the 600s. So there's a few little tidbits like ESP and the hydraulic adjustable suspension. This thing is just so mint. I mean, it is unbelievably straight and perfect down both sides. See the factory wheels on there with Pirellis. The beautiful taillights. As somebody pointed out to me, it's not just for the the desert and the Arab guys running around. It's for the snow in Wisconsin and Germany. When the snow and the dirt get all over these things, you're still able to see those taillights because of the deep ridges in them. So pretty neat stuff, although I don't think this thing's going to get any snow duty. You can see the beautiful shadowline trim all around. It's in great shape. The black trim, very understated for a car of this price range. And let me tell you, I mean, the cost of admission on this thing is so reasonable that, there's just a million reasons to have one. The SL is, of course, a very famous car from Mercedes. It started in the mid-50s with the 300 SL Gull Wing, a very sort of light, I mean, it was heavy back then, but it was a true race car that they made in street form and sent out there, and, it was beautiful to look at and had terrible ventilation inside. After that, SLs, they started to edge more towards luxury cars, and, by the time this R129 rolled around, they really started to get back some of their sports qualities, but in a 4,500 pound, two-seat roadster that feels a lot more nimble than it should at that weight. But anyway, let's get into it. you know, the craftsmanship of this car, the quality of it, the, you know, inside and out, the mechanical engineering is just astounding. Okay, here in the back, you see you got a CD changer, you got your medical kit there, anything a wounded German would need. You've got a lovely spare tire in here. Actually, it was my detailer cleaned that. That's shocking. Little bag of tools there, everything proper. You know, down to little felt protectors on the cover to keep the tire from getting scratched. Mercedes is very, very thoughtful with this stuff. Beautifully finished trunk, you know, with the carpet up here, the hinges, everything just lovely. You can feel the quality engineering in every square inch of this car. Have a look under the hood. Okay, now of course this is what's going to make this car run across the auction block at a higher rate than a lot of other SLs down the road. And this is a 6-liter, 389 horsepower V12. Incredible engine in this car. It's 4 valves per cylinder, so 48 valves this thing has. 4 cams. It is an awesome, awesome motor. 420 foot-pounds of torque, enough to pull a house down. And V12s are, of course, their own thing. You know, the way they start, the way they sound, it's more like a Boeing spooling up than some sort of, you know, automobile that you drive to work. It's all wedged in there, very, very tight. You can see how big that motor is, why they had to extend the front of this car, and everything just lovely. Now here's a bitch I can have at my detailers. That little, you see the little marks in this plenum in the intake, they come from rusting up against that, and a little bit of Pro-Sol just gets, oh God, hey, if you don't do it yourself. Anyway, 25,000 miles, and it looks at everything mint and original and proper under here. Hood sponge in nice shape. This thing is, you know, it's collectible ready. Stick it in your air-conditioned garage and watch it go up in value. Beautiful under there. Have a look inside. Now again, this is another place where the 600s absolutely shine. You can see the treatment with the leather on the door panels, the stitching. That is not in the 500s. All this leather is special to the 600s. Beautiful burlwood inlays, little place to put your, yeah, you probably get a pretty high-powered weapon in there. You probably go with the 357. You got your seat controls, speakers, beautiful little chrome handles. You know, everywhere you look, the fit and finish of this car is exceptional. The chrome caps on the back of the doors. You got side airbags. You've got this beautiful aluminum Mercedes Benz branded entryway with the plastic, with the chrome, with the carpet. It's just so well made. Now, I apologize for the way the interior probably looks on the camera. I'm not, you know, the shading of this carpet, the roosters, you can hear them over there. They're making me nuts. Anyway, the shading of this carpet always looks like dirt on camera, and it is not. It is absolutely mint inside here. This beautiful leather, premium leather, never touched, all original as it came. Wouldn't let the leather medic guy near it. Wanted to keep it as it was. Back here, you've got a little package shelf area. On this side, you've got your Bose subwoofer. On the other side, probably a set of books. Let's go see what's over there. In the mist this morning. We're about 5 days away from decent weather. I'm absolutely counting the days till we get a little bit of a cool front. Yeah, what do we got? We got a set of books over here, all very nice. Nice big area to put stuff. You got some hand grenades or dead squirrels, you can stuff them in there. And again, with the beautiful stitching, the leather, the dashboard, same, absolutely incredible. The engineering in this car, oh my God, did they knock it out of the park. What a bargain in the car world. I mean, how many mint examples of a German roadster can you pick up that have hand-stitched leather sun visors, and you get a mint one for such a good price? Really, really incredible. And the maintenance is all overblown. It's a lot better than people think it is. Okay, so this car and this year, it's sort of where old met new. You have sort of the analog and digital, and they're not crashing together. They come together quite nicely. So it's modern enough inside to feel current, and at the same time, it's analog enough to feel a little bit vintage and to allow some of that classic Mercedes engineering to come out. Beautiful wood and stitched leather steering wheel, gorgeous. You got your light control over here. You've got your suspension control if you want to raise and lower the car. There you see again, just 25,000 miles on the clock of this thing. Weird but nicely laid out instrument cluster. You got your fuel gauge, your ridiculously useless mile per gallon gauge. Why would you even care? If you're buying a SL 600, what are you worried about miles per gallon for? That's not what this car is for. Anyway, your temp gauge, your oil pressure, your 160 mile an hour speedo, and this thing is governed to 155, so you can almost peg that thing. You've got your tach over there to the right, and of course an analog clock. You also have your cruise control stick, your wiper and bright control. This is all a power cluster, which you have to have the car running. Let's do that. Listen to the way this car fires up, how it spools up. Man, that high torque starter whirring, that 12 coming to life. I mean, the minute you turn the key on one of these, you know you're not in a 500. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got a steering column that you can move up, down, in and out, all very nice. You know, they even put leather over the steering column. I mean, they just stuffed leather everywhere they could in this thing. Over here, you got this great little in-dash phone from, you know, the Miami Vice era. Don't even bother trying to use it. It's not going to work. It's all analog. It's all moved to digital since, so that's going nowhere, but it's kind of cool that it's sitting in there. Down here you've got your climate control, works great. All the, you know, liquid crystals in great shape. You got a, oh, wonderful. Yeah, we replaced the battery and they didn't put the code in. You know, there's just more stuff for me to hate about people every day. Every day. Anyway, hopefully the code is inside the books. I don't know if I should do that now. Let me see. What the hell? Now we gotta call the dealer and get the damn code. Let's see what we got in here anyway. Not immediately seeing the radio card. Well, the hell with it. I'm sure it's in there, and if it's not, then I'll just get it and put it in and keep it forever. Oh boy. Okay, anyway, down here you've got a trunk release, you've got your lock button, that little red light is for when the alarm sounds, your electronic stability program, that's a very advanced traction control that was standard on the 600 but optional on the 5. The sports suspension, turn that on and you get a little bit stiffer sprung for going on the racetrack. Over here is your rear roll bar, which you gotta have the screen attached to get it up, but anyway, you got a windscreen there. If you want to remove that and run the roll bar, some people like to do that. In fact, it's kind of sexy, and you know, I read about a guy who called it a roll in the hay bar because it just drove the women nuts when he put it up. I don't know if women are that shallow anymore. Maybe they were in 1998. Anyway, wood, leather, V12 badge, steering wheel, Mercedes classic gated shifter, absolutely beautiful. By this year, they had the 5-speed automatic, not the 4-speed. It could handle the torque. You got your mirror control over here, your heated seats, your windows. This guy runs the top. You have a genuine ashtray if you want to start smoking. You got this beautiful little roller wood compartment here with a cup holder that pops open, actually 2 probably. There you go, so you and the passenger can have some coffees, and then when you're done with it, just roll it back. You got a little center console here. I don't know how you get in there. This is nice. You can slide that forward and it'll stick if you're you know, a short guy and you get to use your elbow up a little further, or you can roll it back. As far as opening this thing, I don't know, I'm not getting it. I'm not going to dick with it right now. Anyway, everything just absolutely lovely in here. Electrochromatic rear view mirror, HomeLink garage doors. You know, it's simplicity and it's modern all at the same time. And it's a classic that you can essentially comfortably drive from Florida to California and, you know, feel really good when you get out. Try doing that in a 69 Camaro or something. Never happened. Now, if we want to run the top, this big red square button here does that. So let's push that forward. Lights up red. Up comes this matching colored top cover. Up comes this very nice fabric soft top. You can see the beautiful headliner on it. Locks itself into place up front. Very nice. Down comes the top cover. And down comes the back of the top. And then it rolls up the windows if you keep on it. They squeak at you a little bit. And the construction at the top is just beautiful. Look at all the aluminum bracing and hinges. Really, really gorgeous stuff. Pop out for a minute so you can see that. Of course, it also has the hardtop as well, so that thing can bolt on there and be fine. It's a little bit misty, but the top's original. You see the Mercedes star there, in great shape with a good clear back window and everything nice. All the stitching lovely, no issues at all. Look at that, all the intact stitching. This thing is so virgin and collectible. AC on it. God, it's ridiculous that it's mid-November and we still need and crave air conditioning. Absolutely ridiculous. We are not having a great winter so far. Making this turn is kind of tight, you know. I'm glad I'm in this car and not that smart car, I'll tell you that much. Alright, and away we go. Again, the feeling is so different in a 600 from the other ones. There's this real menacing, powerful silence to the running gear that you just know is ready to explode. And it is revvy for a big engine. And you know, the car handles, I mean, not phenomenally well. Again, it weighs 4,500 pounds, so you get some body roll. But the ESP and the sport suspension really toned that down. So you could kind of fling this thing around a country road and feel very good about it. In fact, I think that's why a lot of people bought these cars. It's a very accessible sports car that tells people that you are, you know, probably a movie producer. Breaking the tires loose. You see that flashing triangle? That was the ESP kicking on to stop the tire spin and make it so you don't go sliding into the ditch. So thanks to the Mercedes engineers for that one. Man, did you feel the power of that thing? Here, watch this kick down. I mean, it spools up like a Boeing. Incredible. Anyway, so there it is, 1998 Mercedes Benz SL 600 Roadster. This one finished in a beautiful Merlot color with, you know, contrasting beige inside. 25,000 miles. This was a $130,000 two-seat V12 powered Mercedes Roadster. I dare you to tell me that's not going to be a very collectible car as time goes on. God, what a sweetheart. Anyway, if you have an interest, give us a call, 239-298-8000, on the web at aenaples.com. Thanks so much for having a look. We appreciate it. We'll see you with the next one. Take care.